Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day before we begin the video. Please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. Hulk Hogan was the recipient of a chorus of boos when he returned to WWE on the Raw Netflix debut episode. However, wrestling veteran Bill Apter believes that the situation would not have been the same if the Hulkster had come out as a heel. Hogan has been a controversial figure in the pro wrestling fraternity for a long time. The WWE Hall of Famer's appearance on Raw Netflix premiere was not well received by fans as he walked out to a rather hostile reaction. Hogan also responded to the negative response, noting that he was promoting his beer, otherwise, he would have embraced his heel character after the unfavorable reception. Speaking on Sportskeeda Wrestling's The Wrestling Time Machine podcast, Bill Apter noted that Hulk Hogan would have not received boos if he had turned heel and had come out with the NWO. If Hulk Hogan would have come out with NWO and Hollywood Hulk Hogan, they would have cheered the hell out of him. They didn't want to see the yellow and red. Hollywood Hogan is one of the most iconic characters in WWE and pro wrestling history. He was the main antagonist during the WCW's NWO era, and even played the character upon moving to the global juggernaut. Hulk Hogan has long been regarded as one of the most legendary and iconic figures in professional wrestling history. For decades, his larger-than-life persona and unrivaled charisma helped catapult WWE into the mainstream, turning the company into a global juggernaut. However, despite his immense legacy and undeniable influence, there was a moment during the highly anticipated WWE Raw Netflix premiere that saw Hogan receive a less-than-warm reception from fans. A moment that surprised many and raised questions about the state of his relationship with the WWE Universe. At the event, Hogan appeared in front of a packed crowd, expecting the usual thunderous applause and cheers that have followed him throughout his career. However, what transpired was far from the warm welcome he had grown accustomed to over the years. Fans in attendance expressed their discontent by booing the Hall of Famer, a reaction that left many in shock, considering Hogan's status as one of the most celebrated figures in wrestling history. The boos were loud, persistent, and unmistakable, and the moment quickly became one of the most talked-about aspects of the evening. In the aftermath of this unexpected reception, wrestling journalist and veteran Bill Apter shared his exclusive thoughts on the situation, offering an analysis of why the legendary Hulk Hogan, who once dominated arenas worldwide, was greeted with such hostility. Apter's insights reveal that, in his opinion, there was one major change Hogan could have made, something that, had he done it, might have prevented the negative reaction and kept the focus on his legacy as a beloved WWE icon. In an exclusive interview, Apter discussed the intricacies of Hogan's career and how his appearance at the WWE Raw Netflix premiere could have been handled differently. According to Apter, the key to avoiding the boos and backlash at the event lies in one central aspect: Hogan's connection with the WWE Universe. In the past, Hogan had always been able to maintain a strong bond with fans, but it's clear that in recent years, that connection has eroded somewhat. Apter points to a few key factors that could explain why this happened and how Hogan's appearance could have been more successful if he had taken a different approach. Apter explained that the primary issue was the way in which Hogan's persona has evolved over time. Hulk Hogan is a man who built his career on connecting with the people. He was the ultimate babyface, the embodiment of everything that was good and right in the world of wrestling, Apter said. But in recent years, Hogan has been involved in a lot of controversies, both in and out of the ring. Whether it was his association with certain controversial statements or his publicized moments outside of the ring, it has created a disconnect between him and the fans who once adored him. Apter believes that, while Hogan's status as a Hall of Famer and wrestling legend remains intact, there is a growing sentiment among fans that Hogan no longer understands the modern wrestling landscape. The WWE universe has evolved, and with it, the expectations of the fans. What worked for Hogan in the 80s and 90s might not resonate in the same way today, especially considering the changing attitudes towards celebrity culture, representation, and diversity in the reasons for the negative reaction at the Netflix premiere, according to Apter, lies in the fact that Hogan failed to acknowledge or adapt to these changes. Hogan didn't make the necessary adjustments, Apter explained. Had he come out there with a more self-aware attitude, maybe acknowledging the changing times, his role in the past, and the way the business has evolved, he could have avoided the boos. But he didn't do that. Instead, it felt like he was trying to force the same persona that worked 30 years ago, and the fans weren't having it. Apter emphasized that it wasn't just the WWE Universe's growing expectations of their heroes that contributed to the negative reaction, but also Hogan's inability to confront his past mistakes. The world of professional wrestling has seen a major shift in terms of inclusivity, diversity, and social awareness. WWE has gone to great lengths to highlight these values in recent years, with initiatives like the Women's Evolution, LGBT+ inclusion, and the company's broader social media presence. While Hogan has apologized in the past for certain controversial comments and actions, many feel that he hasn't done enough to truly demonstrate growth or understanding. According to Apter, if Hogan had come to the WWE Raw Netflix premiere prepared to show humility and self-awareness about the complexities of his past, he might have been able to win over fans and avoid the backlash. It's all about being authentic, Apter explained. The fans can tell when someone is just going through the motions or when they are truly trying to evolve as a person. Hogan could have come out there and acknowledged that the world has changed, that his past is complicated, and that he's learned from those experiences. That would have shown the fans that he's not just a relic of the past, but someone who understands the present and the future of the business. This moment of reflection, according to Apter, could have been a key turning point for Hogan. He believes that had Hogan made such a change, it could have allowed him to reconnect with the WWE Universe and avoid the hostile reaction. Instead, Hogan's failure to engage with the evolving culture of professional wrestling only deepened the divide. Fans who had once admired him for his charisma and positive message began to see him as out of touch with the current state of the industry. Without addressing this shift, his legacy, which was once built on his close relationship with the fans, was in danger of being tarnished. Furthermore, Apter noted that Hogan's approach to his appearance in WWE programming in recent years has been somewhat sporadic, and that inconsistency has also played a part in the growing distance between him and the fans. Unlike other wrestling legends such as Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock, who have managed to maintain a constant presence through periodic appearances, acting roles, and involvement in various storylines, Hogan's sporadic appearances in WWE programming have lacked continuity. As a result, his connection with the fans has weakened. Apter suggests that if Hogan had made more consistent efforts to engage with the WWE Universe, not just as a wrestler, but as a figure who actively contributes to the current narrative, his reception would have been far different. In addition to the issues with Hogan's character evolution and his sporadic appearances, Apter also points to the wider context of wrestling fandom in today's age. The WWE Universe of 2023 is vastly different from the one that cheered for Hogan in the 80s and 90s. Fans are more discerning, more vocal, and more demanding of the product they consume. The rise of independent wrestling promotions, social media activism, and a more critical and diverse audience means that WWE fans now expect more from their stars, not just inside the ring, but outside it as well. Hogan, who was once a hero for an entire generation, now finds himself in a much more complicated position, with fans who are increasingly focused on authenticity and accountability. Apter believes that there is still a path forward for Hogan to redeem himself and reconnect with the WWE Universe. However, it will require a significant shift in his approach, both as a performer and as a public figure. Hogan has the ability to turn this around, Apter stated. But it's going to take a genuine effort. He has to show the fans that he's willing to evolve, to learn from his past, and to engage with the present. If he can do that, then I think he can win them back. But if he continues to rely on the nostalgia of his past without addressing the realities of the present, that's when he risks being left behind. As for WWE, the company's handling of Hogan's legacy moving forward will also play a key role in how the fans perceive the legendary figure. WWE has always been known for its ability to reinvent itself, and it will be interesting to see how Hogan fits into this new era of wrestling. With the company focusing on creating diverse and inclusive content, it remains to be seen how Hogan can remain a part of the narrative while respecting the values of the modern WWE universe. In conclusion, Hulk Hogan's appearance at the WWE Raw Netflix premiere and the subsequent boos he received serve as a clear indication that the landscape of professional wrestling has changed, and that even legends like Hogan must adapt to stay relevant. Bill Apter's analysis of the situation reveals that, had Hogan made the necessary adjustments in his character, his reception could have been vastly different. As the wrestling world continues to evolve, the question remains, will Hogan be able to evolve with it, or will he be left behind by the fans he once inspired? Only time will tell. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more updated news.